I met this woman at a seed event in Los Angeles hosted by Felicia Butterfield. We started talking and she started dropping gems on me about YouTube, media, what CEO chicks could look like in the next era. And I thought she cannot just be in a conversation with me. She has to be on camera. She's a writer, producer, Emmy recognized storyteller, a woman of faith, and a founder of a media company built to make sure that people who are never in the room finally get to tell their own story. LaMonique Hamilton is our next guest, live from Atlanta, Georgia. CEO Chicks Podcast, Season 1. Let's go. I'm so excited, LaMonique, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Coleen.
I cannot wait. I mean, I said it in the opening how we met, and my good girlfriend from high school, Sujenia, invited me to that seed event in LA where we met, and she left early. She brought me to the event and left me there.
Yes, but I'm glad she did. I'm so glad that she did.
I mean, but it was a really good time. Shout out to Felicia for an awesome seed event. Did you go to the last one?
I did. Felicia is a childhood friend of mine, and I'm always going to support her in everything that she does. And she always does everything to the highest of quality. So excited to always support her.
Yeah, and I think what's so critical about what she's doing is putting people in proximity to someone who can truly shift their life. I do mentorship and coaching, right?
Yes.
So I just believe that we're at a place where now it's become so popular, right? You see a women empowerment and everyone's hosting events, but there are few rooms where things truly do shift, right?
Right.
There are a few rooms where connections that can really shift your life are happening and taking place. And I think that's what's unique about what she's doing, is putting people in proximity with producers and helping up and coming creatives really just shine. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it, right? You describe yourself as a classic type A, right, kid who had her entire life mapped out. Like you had the entire plan. And I really want to know what that plan was before it all blew up completely. Like where did you see life going for LaMonique before it just shifted for you?
Okay, so definitely a type A kid. I would even go so far as to say I was a type A plus, and had my entire life planned out from the time I was 7 or 8 years old. I knew I was going to Duke University. I knew that I was going to be pre-law. I was going to major in economics. I was going to law school. And then I was going to become a corporate attorney. I wanted to work for the big corporations and I wanted to make the big money. So I think the big shift happened for me once I got to college. I had attained my goals. I had done well in high school. I got into Duke. I was like, all right, here we go. Let's go. And then I got there and got into my first economics class. I had gotten into a specialized seminar. So the economics classes usually had about 300 kids in there, and mine had 13. They put me in a specialized seminar. I hated it. It was horrible. I did not enjoy it. I was bored out of my mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And so I had office hours with my professor, shout out to Professor Kelly, who just took me in, and he was so wonderful to me and said, girl, this is not 4 years. This is the rest of your life. I love what I do. I want you to love what you do. And the only thing that you have actually liked about my class is writing the papers, which is what everybody else hated.
Wow.
So maybe you're actually an English major. And so when I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. And then I had a very difficult conversation with my parents about changing my major. So I went from having it all mapped out to having nothing mapped out.
Right.
And I remember going home, telling my mom and dad that I want to major in English. And they're like, what are you going to do with that? I was like, I don't know. They were like, do you still want to go to law school? No, I don't think so. And my dad was like, I'm not paying all this money for you to be an English teacher. It's like, so either you're going to figure this thing out or you need to change course. Like, you need to go to another school that's more affordable. And so I ended up going to Morgan State, which was the best decision, one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. My grandmother graduated from Morgan. I had a lot of legacy there. I didn't know how badly I needed to go to an HBCU.
Wow.
I didn't know how badly I needed to be in a room full of Black excellence, because I had been so used to being the only Black kid in the room.
Yeah.
And so to be in a room filled with the only Black kids in the room, just all of us together now, was exactly what I needed, and it started to shape the rest of my journey.
Wow. What was it like? Was there some culture shock? Was there like an adjustment once you got there? Like, tell me about that.
Okay.
What was that moment like?
So, the first day that I walked on campus, I was with my mom, and my mom noticed it before I did. So she's looking around, she's like, and then she looked at me. And these girls were dressed to the nines. I mean, everything, like designer and the makeup and the nails and all the things.
Really?
And the first thing that she said to me, she looked at me, she looked me up and down and said, baby, we got to get your nails done.
She's like, listen,
so
the standards are different over here.
Yeah, because
the fashion.
Meanwhile, like, I don't know if you remember 90s, like the 90s.
Yes,
because I'm getting ready to drop
time ever.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to drop some stuff on you. So t-shirt was no fear. Shorts, duck head. I'm wearing Birkenstocks. Like, when I say fish out of water, like, and I'm in Baltimore. So like, no, they didn't know what to do with me, and I didn't know what to do with them.
Who is this country girl?
Right. So I looked like a girl that should have been at a PWI. But it all worked out. I had a really great roommate who looked at my closet and was like, we wear the same size, so let's just pull some things out for you. Let's put
immediately.
Immediately was like, yeah, she was like, and this is who does my hair, and this is who does my nails, and this is who, like.
Why do you think that is?
You know something though? Sisterhood. That's what that is. That was what I was welcomed into, and was like, no girl, let's get you together. Not, we're gonna talk about you, we're going to bully you, we're gonna make you feel like an other or an outsider. It was simply, no ma'am, the outside has to reflect the inside, let's get you together.
I love that. So that was your college experience, and you end up in like finance, right? And after all that, so finance, journalism, politics, and also working with MrBeast, like, you have one of the most unexpected like career arcs that I've ever seen, honestly. So I kind of want to know, like, what was your through line, right? You actually like were chasing something through all of these different experiences. What would you say that is through some of your career changes?
Well, it's a couple of things, right? So the first thing, I have I always call it a checkered career. I interviewed a woman once who was 96, and she described her career path as checkered, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's me. That's me. So finance is really simple. I got pregnant in college. I had my son at 21, and I needed money. So that was the very first thing, because I wanted him to have everything. I just wanted my son to have the whole world.
Yeah.
So now, all right, I'm totally motivated. So I went into finance. I was an analyst for years, just to make sure that I had what he needed. And I just freelanced on the side. I wrote some poetry. I even like published a little poetry book during that time. And I just worked on my stuff in the evenings, like so many people do.
Yeah.
Like so many people do. But yeah, I got out of school and it wasn't one of those, I have to go find myself. It's like, no, I got to feed my kid.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up in finance. I went right back to what I was originally doing. I was like, God really has a sense of humor here. Like, God, you are so funny.
And so how did journalism like come into play? How did just take me through some of the different changes from finances to the journalism to the politics? And
so when I turned 30, I made a decision to completely upend my life, because I knew, I was like, if I don't do this right now, I'll never do it. And while there is nothing wrong with having like a 20-year career in banking, I didn't want it to be my story. I just didn't want it to be my story. So I ended up moving back to North Carolina with my son. That was more of a family decision. I wanted to be closer to my dad. I wanted my son to grow up with his cousins. And we didn't really have anybody in Baltimore. It was the two of us against the world in Baltimore. So being able to come home, having family support enabled me to do what I wanted to do. And I just started writing, and I worked for a campaign. And when I finished working for a campaign, and I fell into that too. I fell into working in a campaign. My mom was always very involved with politics. I was just working, honestly, I was just doing data entry stuff just to have something to do. I was doing data entry work, and the candidate came in and was like, no, I know you. Like, I know you. You're not supposed to be doing, like, this is not the highest and best use. Pulled you out of that role. Yep. Like, this is not the highest and best use of your time. And from there, like, I started working comms. And then I went into, like, campaign management. And then campaigns ended. And I was like, all right, what am I doing now? And I'd always wanted to work for a newspaper. And I was like, I don't know if they'll hire me, but I'll try. So I talked to the editor over at the Rocky Mount Telegram. His name was Jeff Herron. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. He passed some years ago. And he was like, let's go out to lunch. He was like, I don't know if I'm going to hire you or not, but let's go out to lunch. And we went out to lunch and we talked. And at the end of the lunch, he was like, you have a job if you want it. And gave me my first shot. I worked a copy editor desk, and then I became a features writer, and I loved it. You know, like I really love the work. Journalists do not get paid. Like, they do not get paid what they're worth. But I truly loved getting to the heart of people's stories. I love talking to people and learning more about them, learning more about their stories. And there was always a story.
There's always. I'm like, isn't there always a story at the core of everything?
Oh yeah.
Every person. It's like, that's all I see and hear too, like, which hence why we're here, right?
Right.
Like, how did all of that take you to MrBeast? Like, how did you even get over there?
Oh my gosh, such a crazy story. And the only through line, you were saying, what is the through line? God. Putting people in the right place at the right time. Yeah, for sure. God is the through line, because almost none of this is my own doing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know why I was building certain skills at the time. I was just doing work, like just doing the work. I went to work for a couple of progressive organizations. I worked for the Poor People's Campaign, and I got that job right before the pandemic. I was the comms director, And maybe 6 weeks
Wow.
after I started the job, they had this huge rally planned, like the 2020 to June 2020 rally. And that's all that I heard about. It was like 50,000 people are gonna be there. And I was like, okay, great. So I'm writing towards that. Like
Right.
everything that I'm doing is towards this June 2020 event. And then the pandemic hits. And everybody's staying at home and staying in place. And there is no rally. And we're like, so what are we gonna do? Like, what does this look like now? Does it look like anything now? And the one thing that we did kind of realize is like, okay, maybe we can move this online. Like, maybe we can move this online and turn this into something. And the next thing I know, the whole team is looking at me. And I was like, why y'all looking at me?
Yeah, Miss Combs, what are we going to do?
Right, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I have the same answer that you have, honey, nothing, I don't know. So I started watching TV. I love TV. So I started watching TV, things that I liked. I started watching the credits. Every producer, every director, anybody that I saw attached to something that I liked, I started going on LinkedIn. And I was reaching out to people left and right. And I was like, hey, I know you're home. I know
you at your desk.
Right, exactly.
Can
we chat? Can we do a chat and cocktail for 15 minutes? Can I have 15 minutes of your time? Here's what I'm trying to do. And every single person said yes. That has never happened in my life, and it hasn't happened since, right? I get a lot of no's. But during that particular period, because everyone was home and because it was a great reset, every single person said yes. And I got to glean a lot of experience in a little bit of time. And I learned this is the person that I call for this. This is the person that I use for this. And they were just sharing resources. And they were like, we just want to see you be successful. We just want to see you win. And so we took a rally that was supposed to hold 50,000 people and turned it into an online event that was watched by over 3 million.
Wow.
And so after that, we started doing it regularly, and
You're fully
I'm in
the digital media space now.
Right, I'm in the digital media space now, and it happened through one event.
Yeah.
And just started producing nonstop, and realized this is what I've been missing. This is it for me. This is a special gift. Let's go, God. Let's go.
Yeah.
And my cousin was actually working at MrBeast and had told the CEO about me, and the CEO was like, let's have dinner. So I go over to my cousin's house for dinner thinking we're just having a good time. And when I left, he turns to my cousin and says, I'm going to hire her.
Wow.
He's like, I'm just trying to find the right job. I'm going to hire her.
Wow.
And that's how I ended up there.
Wow. And they end up creating a position for you, and the actual official title?
I started out as director of operations for, they had a subsidiary called Creator Global that dealt with all their international stuff and all the dubbing.
Okay.
And I started out as director of operations, and when I left there, I was the president.
Wow, that is so awesome. So many people, of course, my kids, I didn't know MrBeast because I went looking for him, right? Right. I stumbled across him, but my kids know about all his giveaways and the competition shows and so on and so forth, right? So he is one of the #1 watch creators on the planet.
Yeah, he is the number one. He is
Thank
number
you.
one. Yeah.
Yep, I'll start to correct myself. And so for you being a global creative operations over that production, you were responsible for global creative operations production viewed by hundreds of millions of people. What did that world teach you about storytelling? So here you are already in comms, writing, you're now crossing into the digital media space, and here we are with the #1 watch creator on the planet. What did you learn? What light bulbs went off for you over there?
Oh, so many light bulbs. The light bulbs around what creates virality. Light bulbs around how do we structure stories so not only will people tune in, but people will stay until the end. Like, so audience retention was like very big. Numbers do matter. Analytics absolutely matter. So I got really good at studying the numbers. And for a person who, yes, type A, but also a storyteller.
Yeah.
Just actually seeing the story in the numbers. And that was actually one of the biggest light bulbs that went off for me. It's like, oh, okay. And also realizing, it's a big world, right? Like, there's a big world, just kind of like intrinsically, hey, 8 billion people. But when you really start breaking it down into this country has this many people and their stories aren't being told. This country has this many people and their stories aren't being told. They're finding, and they're finding comfort and they're finding joy in the things that you're creating. That really turned it on for me. And then when I was talking to my language managers, when I found out their stories, how I found out how they got into YouTube, because my team was very young. My team was like my son's age. They're like 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
And they've been doing YouTube since they were 15, 14, and they've been studying the analytics. I learned a lot from my team, turning it on. But I had language managers in different countries. Let's see, we started with 7, and when I left, I had 25. All from different countries, all doing different languages, and their stories were so interesting to me, and how they were just like turning a page, and every global stories turned local. And after that, I was like, oh.
How long were you there? How long were you working?
I was there for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and I did a 6-month stint as a production manager. They just needed somebody.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got 6 months with me. You
Yeah.
got 6 months, and I'm going to train my replacement, and I'm going to get back over to Creator Global where I belong. But that was great too, because I had a chance to just really be right there with the cast, with the crew, actually learning how it's made on the job, and flying all over the place with them. And we just had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. It was a lot of hard work. I don't know if I ever even took a break. I don't know if I slept for 2 years.
Wow.
But it was so much fun.
A lot of fun, nonstop going, lots of young people, lots of high energy.
Yes.
Folks from all over translating. You're doing, what are they, you said your language managers, are they overseeing like the dubs for each?
Yes.
Making sure that it
making
makes
sure
sense and culturally appropriate.
Yes, exactly. Exactly that.
Understood. That's amazing. Okay, so there you are, 2+ years, 2 years plus 6 months is what I got. Is that right?
Something like that. Something like that.
Something like that. And you're still kind of thinking about your baby, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking about your Center Creative, right? This is where you're telling stories of people that we don't always get to hear about. So talk to me about that transition and how what you learned at MrBeast and working with MrBeast Productions crew and all that, how does that now shift the vision that you have for your company? Does it elevate it?
Oh, for sure.
In what way?
So I never stopped thinking about my company. I actually formed Center Creative in 2018.
Okay.
And it's because I had a creative house. My husband at the time was a creative, my son is a creative, I'm a creative. And I was like, oh, we need to house this into something. I was like, let me go ahead and build a business. I said, it might sit there for a while, we'll do something with it later. So that's how I just started Center Creative, because I felt like we just needed a home for all the creativity. But in that, I was running around the country with Poor People's Campaign. So I'm literally I tell people this, and I don't know if they actually grasp it, but I would spend my Mondays on Capitol Hill, working directly with Congress people. It was nothing for me to be sitting in Bernie Sanders' office on a Monday. And on Tuesday, I could be in the heart of Alabama, sitting in a woman's trailer, learning more about her story. So it was
The extremes.
The extremes. And this was on a weekly basis. There was a point where I had like suitcases packed up like 4 deep in my bedroom, because I would just like go home, throw my stuff like in the washing machine and go to the next suitcase and just like repack and go again. So no downtime, a lot of extremes, and finding out that people are just people, which I already knew, but really knowing that like people are people, and the stories that were the most interesting to me were the stories that got the least amount of coverage.
Why is it getting the least amount of coverage though? I mean, are we just so obsessed with high life, luxury living, like, you know, and so how are you taking the strategy that you learned to help highlight these stories that tend to be so untold and don't get much engagement?
Oh yeah, and so it is. We are obsessed. We're obsessed with youth. We're obsessed with wealth. We're obsessed with all of the things that when you really start peeling back from the people that you are like most admiring, a lot of it is a lie. Like I don't know another way to say it. Like a lot of the things that are being perpetrated are just not true. And when you get to the truth of who those people are, that's much more interesting. So what I started doing was taking the strategies that I was learning over at Beast about virality, and all right, make sure like it's thumbnail and title. This is what we're doing for retention. This is what we're doing, like taking those things, because that's just a formula, right?
Sure.
But the formula had never been applied to stories that I think just matter a whole lot more. So it's about taking those things and applying it over here with people who otherwise wouldn't get a me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just realized I was in a very special position where I could do a lot and I could make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to do. I want to make sure that these stories get told. I want to make sure that they have audiences. I want to make sure that if, you know, whatever it is that the people need, because like people need money, like for sure.
Mm-hmm.
People need money, but also they need visibility. Also they need for people in power to notice them. They need policy to be built around them. They need an actual path for their lives to be improved.
Yeah.
And that's the work that I do.
And you know, it's a tough place to be when I think about it from a business perspective, right? Because you become an advocate for some of these people, but they financially can't pay you. So
Right.
It turns to be just frankly a horrible business model.
Oh yes.
Like, can we be honest?
Can we be honest?
Can we be honest on here?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because while you want to help these people and shine light on their situation and circumstance, that is a cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you navigate the financial waters, or how do you, like, what does that look like for your company to be able to tell those stories? Or are you going out and looking for the finances? Share a little bit about what that looks like.
A lot of phone calls, a lot of no's. Looking for sponsors that organically work with the stories that we're trying to tell. I've gotten very good at noticing everything. I will notice the ketchup bottle in somebody's refrigerator. And I'm like, oh, is that the ketchup you always use? Hello, Heinz, how are you doing? You know, like, oh, you use Dove? Hello, Unilever, how are you doing? So really just putting those things together so that we can find the financing to do the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is right now the people group that you're most focused on? What is their current situation and story that you're looking to tell?
So right now I'm actually getting ready to go on my book tour 2 years later. I'm like, it's never too late. So
That's right. That's right.
My book came out 2 years ago, and I'm just now getting to a place where I have time, because I started a business, like really went full time into the business and published my book at the same exact time. So I didn't really give myself time to do a true tour. And that's what I'm doing now, because over the past year especially, I've just met so many women who are like, something's got to change. They're in a period of transition, whether it's with their career or with their family or with their finances or with like just anything, just aging.
Yeah.
There's so many transitions, so many shifts happening, that I just wanted to create community and space around them. And I knew I needed to do the book tour, and I was like, this is the time here, like, I would just want to present this to the community and hopefully find my people around the country. So that's what I'm doing this summer.
Focusing on that, the women that are going through transition.
Yes.
And the title of the book is
Shift.
Is Shift. Yeah. So that's what you're going to be talking about and sharing, I'm sure, some of their stories.
Oh, yes.
Along the way. What does that look like, your tour?
So it looks like a lot of different things. We're going to festivals around the country, and doing just regular book stops and book signings, but we're also doing shift supper clubs in different cities. I wish I could do it in every city, but I can't. But we're doing it in certain cities along the tour, where we're just all gathering, where we're sharing stories. And I actually did a version of this a couple of years ago. I was doing something called Shift Social Clubs, and it was really small, very intimate, about 9 or 10 people in each location. And everyone just got a chance to like share, and true networking happened. I know people who are like still friends with folks that they met in those rooms, and it was wonderful. And I was like, yeah, I want to expand upon this, because a lot of great things, almost every great thing in my life happened around a table. It happened around breaking bread with folks. And I think food is a great equalizer. Good food, good wine gets people talking. And I think sharing our stories, not only just, it brings me joy, but I think honestly sharing stories saves our lives. It saves our lives, and it's gonna save this country, to be honest.
Wow. In what way? Like when you say that, that's a strong statement.
Yeah, but I think it's true, because we are in a place where we need to find our common humanity again. We've lost it. Like, this country has lost its way with our humanity. There's so many snap judgments made. If you like this, then you hate that. If you did, like, there's so much, and I'm like, we're much more alike than we are different. So many of us, and I mean, like, I've talked to people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And we're much more alike than we are different. We do have a common humanity, but we're not sharing it with one another. And I really want us to start sharing our humanity with one another. That's the only way that we're going to make it through this.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And I feel you too, because I think it's super important that we're continuing to just be open, with one another and humanize each other. There was a recent story that came up on my feed just about 2 players on the same team. One is Team Red, one is Team Blue, right? They just have different politicians that they're backing, but they're really good friends. And of course the internet goes up in an uproar. Like, how can you guys be friends? Like, he likes him and he likes this one. It's like, yeah, but we do life together. And he has a right to have a difference of opinion. Like, I think we need to still know how to be respectful to each other, even if we have different beliefs. Like, when did that all get thrown out?
Right. And like, and not saying that you need to just sit and accept everything either.
Correct.
Because you don't. Like,
right. But it's the respect,
oh,
right?
right. It's the respect. Like, there's just a lack of respect.
I think we have to learn how to disagree again, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
There's some rules of engagement,
there's
and we need to learn how to disagree.
That have been thrown out the window, okay? Like, thrown out the window. And we need to bring that back.
Yeah.
We need to bring decorum back.
Yeah, amen to that. You describe your work as your ministry, right? You share that all the time. You talk about relying heavily on God, about prayer, moving when he says move, right? Even when you don't always fully understand it. I think we call that faith. What has God been asking you to do lately that you've been a little slow to say yes to?
I was just talking to my friend about this last night.
Well, good. I tapped in.
Yes. God's been asking me to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Are you uncomfortable right now?
Uh-huh.
Because you're so used to being behind the
very
camera.
used to being behind the
no
camera.
makeup, hair in the ponytail.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Yes.
Have you been checking out my team? They did okay?
Your team is amazing. Your team is amazing. Your team put on my lashes. Like, yeah, I love your team. But yeah, I'm used to being behind the scenes. I'm used to being behind the camera. I'm very comfortable behind the camera. I'm very comfortable. To be quite honest, I'm very comfortable playing small for myself and big for other folks. And God's like, not now, sis. We got things to do. We got things to do. It's like, and if you can't boast on yourself, boast on me. So that's where I am now. It's like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable with your finances for a while. You're building something. You know, so that means that maybe you don't stay at the Four Seasons because your money has to go into this thing.
That's right.
You know, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and because now I'm pushing you to the forefront. This is where you have to be in order to build. Like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable because people who used to be your friends and who used to be down for you, now you're finding out they're like, you're changed. You're like, no, you're just going into, like, you're just walking into a season.
Yeah.
So get comfortable with people that you thought were down for you not really being down for you.
Not that version. Right? They're not
that,
used
like,
to that version.
Oh yeah. Like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable because don't read your own press. Like, because you're gonna have good things and then you're gonna have like nasty things, and guess what? The nasty things come up to you first. So yeah, God's just been like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
You're doing it.
This is a long ride.
Yeah, you're doing it. And I see that like commonality in all the guests like that we're talking about. And I love that because I have a few of my like just girls that have been with me for years that are here helping behind the scenes. And we kind of were just kikiing in between talking about what they're taking away from all of the interviews we've been doing in real time. And that's been the thing. It's like all of these women and that walk of faith, like we can't escape it, right? The discomfort, you can't escape the discomfort. It's God is calling you out. He's calling you out. It's time to step on water. It's time to step out the boat. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's no getting away from that. It's going to be uncomfortable.
No.
It's going to, like, you're going to want to stay in the boat. Everything in you is going to say stay in the boat, but the Lord is calling you to go deeper.
Yeah. And not only just calling you out, because saying out is like such a good short story. You know, it's like, oh, God called me out, so now I'm walking on water. Like, no, God's calling you through.
Yeah, as well. That's right.
Yeah, like you're going to get out, like,
and you ain't going back in.
Right, and you will not go back in. Like, you will be forever changed. But God is also calling us through, and people do not like going through.
Yeah, do you? I don't.
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm like, I'm the people.
Give me $1 million now, please, child. No.
People, that's me. I am not a fan of.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan. But get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way. That's the only way to out. Is through.
100%. You know, one of the things, your shift column, you started writing in a specific season, and it was just, you said, I have nothing else to lose.
Oh yeah.
I have nothing else to lose. You put that, your son was growing up, so you were going through that season of him like not being needed, right?
Right.
Like that's another form of discomfort as parents we have to go through. Your marriage ended up falling apart.
Yep.
Like take us through that season. Like are you a plow through when, you know, there's fight, flight, freeze, right? Which category you fall in when things seem to be falling apart? Are you the fighter?
Okay,
are you the run the track
you
star?
You tapping into stuff.
Or are you, which one are you?
So I am a fighter by necessity. Because I gotta get through something. Like I know I gotta get through it. So I'm a fighter by necessity, but the whole time that I'm fighting, I either want to fly or I want to freeze. And I don't think we talk about that enough, like, because we see people fighting through. It's like, oh yeah, you're fight or flight, you're in fight mode, and it's like I'm in whatever I have to do mode. And yeah, I'm like fighter, but absolutely by necessity, because if I had it my way, I'd fly.
I get it.
Yeah.
And writing was a part of that, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's what I really feel like. There is something to be said about the gifts that God has given us and how they work under pressure. Like I just believe that when you're going through your way out, whether you sing, you'll sing your way out. If you write your way out. If you act your way out.
Yes.
Like whatever it is, it's applying pressure and it's bringing the best out of you during that time. Some of the best hits and love songs we know are written due to a broken heart. Like, can you like go there for a second?
Oh my gosh, people say all the time, it's like, man, I love Heartbroken Mary.
Like bring back some of those hits.
Exactly.
Mary too happy right now.
Exactly. She too happy. She okay with herself. Like bring the heartbreak.
Listen,
but,
though, people talk about there being this edge of. I literally saw someone, and I'm gonna let you expound, but I have to share this because I saw a post about she was a therapist, and she was just kind of breaking down how some of the top performers and people that we love, these A-type, you know, personalities and people that are top execs at companies, refuse to go to therapy because they feel like that pain gives them the edge that they need to do business. And so I just find that, I'm just putting it out there, like I just find that to be super interesting. And so just to prove the point we just shared, like some of the greatest hits and love songs come from pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't know what the point was I was making, but I just
I honestly think it just really tapped into, again, like our common humanity. People know sadness, they know pain, they know transition. These are just really common threads for all of us. We've all been through that. We've all grieved. You know, if you live long enough, you have grieved someone or something. And people understand that, and they'll rock with you through it. They will. I was so taken, like, aback in the best way, by the way my community came and encircled me while I was going through one of the toughest seasons of my life. Because when I started writing the column, I was not trying to write about any of that stuff. I didn't want to write about it. And then when everything happened, I made a decision, and it really was just like, God's like, write. Like you're gonna have to write about this one. And I remember calling my ex-husband and telling him, I was like, I think I'm gonna write about our separation. I want to make sure you're okay with it, and I'm going to make sure that you read it before it's published. And he's like, bet, let's do that. So I wrote, he read it, he was like, yeah, that's it. And my editor was like, are you sure you want to put this out there? He was like, I love it, but are you sure you want to put this out there? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And from there, something just sparked. Something really just sparked. And I started doing things that I never did in a professional setting. Because again, like, remember, up until this point, I'm type A+.
Yes.
Okay, and
Yes.
so this was a season that took me from A+ into like B, and possibly into B-.
Like, where are we right now?
Right, because I'm like, oh, we're just gonna have to make it do what it do.
Yeah.
You know, instead of having a plan. It's like, there is no plan. Now what?
Yeah. But look at where writing has taken you, you know, to being Emmy Award-winning writer for, is it Hot Angry Mom?
Hot Angry Mom.
Did you see yourself in that character?
Yes. So my friend, the creator of that show, Mel, had been workshopping this character for a while, for like 5 years before she even put together the series. And she's been my friend for over 20 years. Our babies grew up together. And she was just like, I'm so angry at all this stuff, and I have to turn it into something. She's like, I'm angry with everything that's happening in the world. I'm angry that we're not seeing each other right now, and I want to turn it into this thing. And so she workshopped that series. She actually wrote the series. I was one of the producers, and when she asked me to come on board, I was still working at Poor People's Campaign, and I was a little burned out and trying to figure out, all right, how much longer can I do this? And I needed something fun. I needed a fun outlet. And so when she asked me to come on board, I just said yes. Like, yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need me to do?
Mm-hmm.
What, like, I got you. So we went on this crazy journey together and worked on Hot Angry Mom. She got it out there. She put it in over 50 film festivals. We ended up doing a whole YouTube campaign around it. I think it's close to 1 million views now. And somewhere along the line, she decided to put it in the running for an Emmy. And she called me after that was already done, after all everything, and she was like, "You're not gonna believe this." And I was like, "What are you talking about, girl?"
I love that.
Like what? So it just came it came out of nowhere, but that's the way God works.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be the thing you thought it was gonna be, because I was working on the first season. We were doing pre-pro stuff for the first season of Beast Games, and I was like,
it's about to be from here.
That's my Emmy right there. That's it right there. And then I left because God was like, "No, ma'am, we got to start this thing right now." I couldn't sleep at night.
Wow.
I could not sleep at night. Two directives that God was giving me, and you get tired of getting woken up at 2:00 in the morning every morning, 2:00.
The urgency.
This now.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. So I put the book together and I put a quick business plan together. And I mean, when I say fast, I mean fast, probably a 2-month turnaround. Just put it all together. It was like, okay, so I'm going on faith.
That's one of those hard yeses.
Exactly.
One of those hard yes lords.
A hard yes Lord. And God was basically like, I need you to tap into your type B- right now. It's because the plan is me. I am the plan. And that has to be enough for you right now. And
here you are.
And here we are, 2 years later.
Here we are, on tour.
Look, and he's still the plan.
On tour.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Somebody needs to hear that, because they say tell God your plans if you want to make them laugh. And so I think it's important.
God thinks I'm hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Okay, a few rapid fires that I have here for you. Tyler Perry or Issa Rae? Who would you want to be your mentor?
Issa Rae.
Okay. If a center creative had a Netflix doc right now, what would it be? If you had a documentary?
Ooh. It would be called The Pain Point.
Very specific.
Yes. Yes.
Very specific. We won't unpack right now.
Okay.
We'll leave that for the comments.
Okay.
Okay. Political campaigns or MrBeast Productions, which is more chaotic?
Oh, that's hard. That is hard.
You got to pick one.
I'm gonna go with political campaigns because you never seen bigger characters in your life.
Oprah's couch or Shonda Rhimes' writing room?
Shonda Rhimes' writing room.
Really? Over Oprah's couch?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, I like being behind
I know,
the
but
scenes.
I'm just saying, I know that just speaks
No,
to
put
your
me
gift.
in the writing room every time.
That speaks to your gift. Okay, finish this. The version of me that was making everyone else's dream come true was?
Tired.
Period. Well, no more to that. No more to that. Any last words, sis?
Just thank you. Thank you. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, I'm getting to know you right here with asking you these questions, just learning more about you. And I'm excited about what God is doing in your life with that book, with that tour. That supper club though, and the book, I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, please come out.
Yeah.
Please come out because it's going to be a time.
Yeah.
And look, you had Natalie Jean from Green Envy Eats. You
Yes,
had her food at the
yes.
Yeah, and she's catering all of the supper club.
And sis can cook.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
She can throw down.
Yeah, because I was like, the food has to be top tier. Like, it has to be food that gets people talking, and there was nobody better.
Yeah, we're gonna meet some more ladies out in these streets.
Oh,
for
yeah.
What are you titling it? Is it just the shift tour? Like, what are you titling it?
It's Welcome to Your Shift.
Okay.
Because we've been doing shifts for everybody else. We do the shifts that when we go to our jobs, when we go into our family shift, and we go into all the shifts for all the organizations that we volunteer for. We do shifts everywhere and for everyone except ourselves.
Yeah.
So this shift is for us. It is Welcome to Your Shift, welcometourshift.com, where you can find all of the information for the tour.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Love you, girl.
Love you too.